Hey Hunter, Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway, BMF. Vamos fazer acontecer essa?
Hey Hunter, Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway, BMF. Let's make that happen.
Na realidade, os termos dele é o mesmo termo do UFC. Não importa.
His terms are the same as the UFC. It can be in his house. If it's not in Brazil, it can be anywhere in the world. He doesn't think that the UFC will do an event in Hawaii, and he doesn't want to wait for the White House. But he mentioned March, which would be a good date for him. It's perfect. It's a perfect fight. It would be awesome to see Hawaii.
Because Stuart Nichols a flyweight, and he shot 2 takedowns in round 1. And completely gassed out and was without energy for the entire rest of the fight. I don't know how to explain this to you guys. Who do I think would win that? I think Oliveira would win against Holloway at this point. You got to have power to beat Oliveira, in my opinion, and Holloway just doesn't have that pop in his shots. So he couldn't bully Oliveira early on, and I think he would give up. He'd be on the back foot, and he would give up some kind of back position. So I'd go Oliveira, but you know, that'd be a good one for Oliveira, try and get a loss off of his resume.
The MMA universe just went haywire once again. Charles Do Bronx Oliveira is back, and his call-out of Max blessed Holloway is leaving all the fans completely crazy. Charles Do Bronx Oliveira returned with a bang after defeating Mateusz Gamrot and lit up headlines immediately with his call-out of Max blessed Holloway for the BMF title. The trash talk wasn't only bold, it was calculated. Oliveira is aware that Holloway means attention, legacy, and war. The world of MMA was abuzz at the possibility of 2 dogged fighters meeting. Oliveira's posture conveyed hunger and confidence, a reborn man. For Oliveira, this wasn't trash talking, it was a statement of being back and tough.
Hey Hunter, Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway, BMF. Vamos fazer acontecer essa?
Hey Hunter, Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway, BMF. Let's make that happen.
Max Holloway responded with confidence, taking Oliveira's challenge but with one resounding condition. No fight in Rio. Max Holloway made it very clear, neutral ground or no deal. His tranquil, strategic tone was the attitude of a war-toughened soldier who fears nobody. Fans adored it, Holloway's name counts, and his knockout victory in his last outing served as a reminder of his potency. By taking on under his conditions, Max proved he's still that bold fighter who wishes to confront legends head-on.
How did he look before that, guys? Tell me. Mid. Wait, the White House? It's so long to wait. Sitting out a year would be terrible, dog. I'll tell you guys that much. It's because I saw early in the week that Charles said he wanted to fight me for his last fight. So does that mean that his next fight is his retirement fight? Or am I tripping? It'd be a fun one. It'd be a fun one, bro. Nah, I'm not fucking going to Real. Fight in Las Vegas or something. We fight on my terms, brother.
Oliveira had no hesitation in taking Holloway's offer. He stated location is irrelevant when the best fight the best. The swift response indicated the raw warrior mentality that characterizes him. He has fought through blood, scars, and defeats, but his appetite is still ravenous. Oliveira's confidence level is sky high after his comeback victory, and calling out Holloway was not indiscriminate, it was personal. He desires the smoke, the bedium, and the glory. His message was brief: anywhere, anytime, let's fight for that belt.
Na realidade, os termos dele é o mesmo termo do UFC. Não importa.
His terms are the same as the UFC. It can be in his house. If it's not in Brazil, it can be anywhere in the world. He doesn't think that the UFC will do an event in Hawaii, and he doesn't want to wait for the White House. But he mentioned March, which would be a good date for him. It's perfect. It's a perfect fight. It would be awesome to see Hawaii.
Dana White, when questioned about this fight, didn't downplay it. He said it's very possible, suggesting talks are already underway behind the scenes. Dana referred to it as the ideal matchup for 2 top-notch fighters who want to rebound after falling to Tapuria. Both have fan support, finishers, and name recognition. The UFC chief knows that this is money. 2 action men stars, both attempting to revive their glory, the ideal recipe for a headliner event.
2 fan favorites in the lightweight division, Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway. They both lost to the champion. Ilya, are you open to doing a Max Holloway-Charles Oliveira fight for the BMF belt?
Anything's possible. I like his idea, I like your idea. The great thing about that division is there's so many incredible fights that you can do. You know, you have Ilya, who's the champion, you got him with a BMF belt, and there's a lot of things we can do.
Thanks, Dana.
Yep.
MMA guru couldn't conceal his joy upon learning about Oliveira versus Holloway. He described it as one of the biggest bouts of the year and asserted that it should have a paramount card position.
Because Stuart Nichols a flyweight, and he shot 2 takedowns in round 1 and completely gassed out and was without energy for the entire rest of the fight. I don't know how to explain this to you guys.
Guru pointed out Oliveira's mentality, stating he appears unstoppable today like a fighter who rediscovered his rhythm. In his opinion, Oliveira's pressure, confidence, and momentum render him a tough headache for anyone. Forecasted that if the bout occurs, Oliveira will grab the victory and accomplish it in a destructive manner.
Who do I think would win that? I think Oliveira would win against Holloway at this point. You got to have power to beat Oliveira, in my opinion, and Holloway just doesn't have that pop in his shots. So he couldn't bully Oliveira early on, and I think he would give up. He'd be on the back foot, and he would give up some kind of back position. So I'd go Oliveira, but you know, that'd be a good one for Oliveira, try and get a loss off of his resume.
Dustin Poirier chimed in, dissecting Oliveira's standard approach that continues to work again and again. He described Oliveira's aggressive pressure forward, his tendency to draw opponents into madness, and then pouncing on mistakes. Poirier conceded that though it's a high-risk strategy, it's one that has resulted in several victories for Oliveira over the top-level foes. He referred to Oliveira's capacity to take damage and still be able to locate finishes as one of the craziest things about MMA. Oliveira's recipe, according to Poirier, is perilous but certainly effective.
I hit him, he went down to his back, pulled guard. Gaethje hit him, hurt him, he went down to the guard. Poirier hit him, hurt him, and he went down to guard. He was knowingly forcing himself to go to the guard and forcing you to make a decision. Okay, you hit me. Okay, I went down. Now come into my world. And most guys don't go on top of him.
Joe Rogan chimed in on the subject, complimenting Oliveira's ferocity and risk-taking attitude most fighters shy away from. Rogan stated that Oliveira's attitude, trying to win, not merely survive, is what distinguishes him from all others. He described Oliveira's intensity as electric and stated that fans enjoy watching him because he creates a whirlwind each and every time.
Here's what's interesting about Charles Oliveira. When Charles Oliveira fights, even though he's the champion, he fights like a berserker. He fights and puts himself in danger. Like, he doesn't fight safe. He doesn't fight to try to outpoint you. He doesn't fight tactically, like where he's trying to get, you know, the least amount of damage and, you know, and drag you into deep water and then strategically try to take you out the 4th and 5th round. No. From the moment the first bell rings, he's coming at you. Engaging, guns blazing. Yeah. Oliveira's so different than anybody else. When he gets hit, he just lays on his back. Yeah. And he's like, come get some of this. And nobody wants that guard game. He gets a break. He's got the most submissions in the history of the sport.
He recovers.
Yes, because nobody wants to go to the ground with him.
Ilia Tapuria wasn't that impressed, though. The champion added that Oliveira has a tendency to break under pressure when it becomes too much for him. He opined that Holloway's pace, cardio, and mental resilience might be the difference in the bout, and Tapuria confirmed Oliveira is a threat early, but opines Holloway might down him in deep water. His remarks fueled arguments among the fans. Some concurred that Holloway's pressure breaks everyone, while others opined that Oliveira's momentum and killer drive would shut down the critics.
Charles Oliveira, even this is what I was telling you before, like when you got 10 losses in your record, that's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 10. When you walk in with a guy that has 10 losses, the level of confidence is completely different. In the case of Charles, if he finds some adversity, he's gonna go to the ground, he's gonna sit, and he's gonna be waiting like till you end up the fight.
Yet another bout is generating huge buzz. Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. Hooker didn't mince words in his latest remarks, declaring he will make Tsarukyan regret signing this contract. The New Zealander came across as confident to the point of threatening as he threatened violence. Hooker's striking, toughness, and experience have won him admiration across divisions. His remarks, however, didn't remain quietly with fans or Arman himself, who immediately responded, creating tension before the big fight.
You're just like a lippy little rich kid. Like, there's a video of him walking up on Bobby Green and like getting in his face like before the fight, and obviously he doesn't need the money from these UFC fights, you know what I mean? He does this for attention and Instagram likes. Like, he doesn't fight to feed his family. Like, I fight to provide for my family. I'm just saying, if he walks up on me like he walked up on Bobby Green, the fight is cancelled.
Tsarukyan replied with icy calm. He told Hooker he's just giving a show for the cameras and that it will be a lot different when they're standing face to face. Arman's single-minded, he's grounded for years. moving rapidly up through the ranks, and now he views Hooker as the last step into the title picture. He stated experience won't count when youth, speed, and pressure meet. Tsarukyan's calm tone speak volumes. He's ready to fight, not talk.
Dan spoke to Submission Radio and he said, if Armin comes in arm's range of me, I'm going to hit him. That's the long and short of it. God. He said the fight's going to be off and I don't care about that.
He just talking a lot. But if you see gonna put us on one room without rumors, without camera, without bodyguards, he's not gonna do anything. He can do whatever he wants to do. He's gonna have 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wants, we can fight, and after fight, we can fight again.
Michael Bisping commented, referring to both men as killers in their own right. He noted Hooker's fortitude, determination, and record against the best.
Kind of scenario. Of course, Dan Hooker, being the striker that he is, being the tall, lanky kickboxer, training out of City Kickboxing, who's on tremendous form right now, even though he hasn't fought in what will be about 17 months by the time he fights. He's been out with an injury, but he was on a 3-fight win streak. He last beat Mateusz Gamrot via split decision. Before that, he beat Jalen Turner by split decision, who Jalen Turner, even though he's retired, was one of the best strikers in the lightweight division. 6'3", absolutely gigantic, and Dan Hooker beat him at his own game. And before that, he put a beat down on Claudio Puelles. Puelles kept rolling for the Imannaris, kept going for the legs, kept rolling around on the floor, and got brutalized by Dan Hooker in the second round. He got stopped with a front kick to the body.
But he also complimented Armin, noting his youth, strength, and work ethic. Bisping feels the result of this bout will be determined by who sets the pace early, and if Hooker's experience can disrupt Armin's explosive rhythm within the octagon.
Literally, he's a very, very well-rounded mixed martial artist, and he is in his absolute prime. He's only 28 years old with a professional record of 22 wins and 3 losses. Those 3 losses, one of them was to Mateusz Gamrot that Dan Hooker did beat, and of course he lost his UFC debut to Islam Makhachev that he took on short notice, and he still gave Islam a really good run for his money. Outside of those 2 losses, the man's been absolutely flying and finishing a lot of people. Finished Joel Alvarez, put a beat down on Joel Alvarez, who's doing tremendous things. I finished Beneil Dariush in a stunning combination. It was a knee to punches, a flying knee I think it was, and then some punches. Then he
Sonnen predicted that he's taking Dan Hooker to win. Sonnen stipulated that Hooker's experience and striking volume might prove too much for Armin's wrestling-based style. Some supported the seasoned underdog, some others perceived Tsarukyan as the division's future. Either way, things just got an awful lot higher stakes.
If Hooker was to get a win over Tsarukyan, there would be a very clear wind blowing, driving Hooker right into a world title fight. I love the matchup, guys. I just don't know how we missed it.
Dana White later confirmed that, which the fans wished to listen. He confirmed that the victor of Hooker vs. Tsarukyan will officially be #1 contender and receive a title shot next. That confirmed overnight the intensity of the fight. 2 hungry contenders, 1 road to gold, everything at stake. The UFC keeps piling up the division with top-level matchups, and this one has it all. Grit, peril, and promise.
Dana, earlier this week, you scheduled Arman Tsarukyan to fight Dan Hooker in November.
Yeah.
And will the winner of that fight become the #1 contender in the lightweight division?
Will the number of that? Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Dana.
Subscribe now for more fight analysis, expert commentary, and all that you need before these gladiators return to the octagon. The next installment of Mayhem awaits, so don't miss it.